Hi, my name is Womp Rat, and today we're going to be playing some Orcs Must Die 2 weekly challenge, Into the Void. So, kind of a disclaimer for this video, guys, as I have played this level many times on single player now. This level is heavily dependent on the random number generator for the dispensing of mana potions from the void walls. To get past the later waves, for my purposes of how I play the level, it is pretty much completely dependent on how many mana potions we get. If we do not get enough mana potions for waves 7, 8, and 9, we will have orcs or other things get through, and that's not fun. I would say probably 9 out of 10 times playing this level, I end up resetting just because I don't have enough mana to get through last wave. If I do well, I can normally get to wave 9, and then there's just too many large targets and not enough mana to go around. Tends to be a little bit of an issue. I have had one really good run where I was actually able to get untouchable. That run was a little bit ridiculous in that I was getting a lot of mana from the void walls, and I was able to go ahead and kite that mana around with me with my wind belt and just obliterate everything in wave 9. Pretty much every other orc was dropping a mana potion, and it made it really trivial to get through that last wave. So, I mean, don't be discouraged on this weekly challenge, guys. It is just kind of brutal on those last few waves. Now, you're going to go ahead and see my setup that I have here. I like to let the minecarts kill them in the early stages, because we can get some ×3 combos there. You can also get some ×3 combos pushing them into the void, but we don't really need mana this early on, not until later waves. I like to be a little bit more proactive with my killing. So, yeah, we have, you know, your basic setup there. There's going to be a lot of hiding behind pillars. Later waves, I believe wave 3 is where we start having our archers. I have it written down somewhere in a note log on my computer about where the particular waves have archers. It's pretty much go ahead and write that stuff down and try to familiarize yourself with it so you can get to a good position. I'll show you kind of my sniping position for getting rid of archers later on when we actually have them come into play. But for right now, we have 2 void walls. We're going to go ahead and wrap them around the edge when we get a little bit of money to do so. Right now, we don't even have any money to put down an additional barricade, where I like to have it. But yes, the crux of this level is it's all about mana and mana management and getting lucky with those mana potions. Now, granted, I could probably be a little bit better with my mana management, and sometimes we can get some ×3 combos on the bridge, or there are ×4. We are able to get some higher combos if you have the extra mana for it on the bridge over there. So I like having that there just to keep them onto the tracks if we need to flop it. And we're going to go ahead and kind of pad them back around the wall there. We'll have another void wall. We will have extra stuff, and it's nice for pathing. The larger targets do sometimes get stuck the way that I do it, which is nice, because it allows us to regen our mana. If you get lucky and they just sit there, you know, kudos to you. Makes it a lot easier. So we see that we have some archers incoming. Gonna go ahead and blow this guy over. And we're gonna get to our sniping position behind this pillar right here. So this guy coming up, I'm gonna show you what we are gonna do to the archers. Just peek around the corner, push them in. And just like that. Archers have a hard time getting through in the early waves. You're not going to get hit. This is going to be a really good way to get rid of the archers. On the later waves, though, you're going to have so many orcs and other things incoming, as well as the larger targets that you're going to have to start worrying about, that it's going to be a little bit harder to juggle all of that. And one of the other reasons I like having the minecart do its job is we, consistently get some pretty good kill streaks. So that should be it for the time being for archers. And we're just going to go ahead and start the next wave. So the other thing you're going to have to worry about is mana management and flyers. The closer you can get to them, the better. But you'll start noticing that in later waves when there's like 3 waves of flyers on each side, as well as, ogres and earth elementals making their way in. It tends to be a bit of a problem to be able to get up close because you're putting yourself at risk taking arrows, being charged by ogres. So always a good practice right there is to let those ogres, wander by so you can regen your mana. We don't like things breaking our barricades. We have a pretty good system right there, so things to keep an eye out for on this level are orcs getting knocked over that row of barricades early on, because it can happen. I've had it happen on a few of the times I've played this level. It's one of the bad things about this particular setup, but the setup works well overall, because we want that minecart to kill off as many orcs as it can, since mana management is a huge part of this level. The less we actually have to kill with our mana, the better. So this kind of a formation around this wall tends to create a lot of clumping with the orcs and larger targets. Quite helpful if you get lucky. Sometimes they'll just sit there for about a minute. Like I said, my success rate on this particular level is very, very low, as for me, it takes a lot of potions to get through the last few waves, specifically 9, because of all the larger targets. Now, having a lot of smaller targets like this is why I like having this setup here. You don't have to worry about pushing, 3 clusters of orcs into the void wall and worrying about, oh, am I going to get mana? I mean, you want to keep the mana potions fresh when you can, but really important to start doing that more on wave 6. Wave 5's not too bad. Wave 6 isn't too hard, but we need to keep that mana there, because the longer the levels go on, the more targets we have to deal with, the larger the targets we have to deal with. And ogres are not particularly fun to fight. I find what works best for them is to freeze them and then get right up in their face and make sure that every projectile from that amulet hits them. Does quite a bit of damage. If they're coming over from the east entrance, if you can freeze them on the track, that's great, especially if you can freeze them right before the minecart hits them, because when they're frozen they take just a little bit of extra damage. Again, mana management is the key to this entire level, to this entire challenge. I don't think we've been hit yet, but like I said, it's very limited success in this level, and a lot of times when I lose my untouchable is when I run out of mana, and I find myself having to run around, or sometimes I'll even get through the level untouchable, but something will just get through, like a flyer, because I didn't have the mana for it, or an orc gets through, or an ogre, something that I just didn't have the extra mana to take out. This level is very frustrating because these potions do disappear after a short period of time. I really wish I knew what the timer was on it, and sometimes, like right there, you'll say, okay, I'm going to be using that here, and then it's gone. So, yeah, earth elementals, I find fire tends to work a little bit better, but fire is very, well, all the stuff we have this week, except for the wind belt, is pretty mana inefficient. And right there, we're having them get stuck up on there. We'll go ahead and use the minecart to throw out some lava. Okay. Anytime I hear those audio cues, I always get paranoid. Just gonna go ahead and send him in there. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. We have a archer. Always got to be careful of those. Just go ahead and push these guys in. See, wave 6. Haven't been hit. Having a lot of fun, but I don't think we have enough mana. Yeah, we don't have enough mana this wave. If those mana pots up there go MIA too soon, when we need them most, then we are going to be out of luck. And that happens to me quite a bit. Okay. Doing okay so far, but those flyers are going to probably pose a problem. Like I said, wave 7, 8, and 9 are the problematic waves. There we go, getting ourselves some mana. Trying to pull that mana over to me. Alright. Again, trying to grab that mana, but getting orcs. Gotta get around here. Trying to make some shots on that. And let's see. Just more and more of these guys making their way through. And we're doing everything we can to kill these things off. I'm trying to get around to that mana, but I'm not getting it. Doesn't matter, we're gonna get hit anyway. Yeah, trying to get that. We've had 3 things get through the rift. And definitely not enough mana. Not seeing enough mana for this next one. So it looks like we had a couple flyers get in on the western side. And one of the orcs got in from the eastern side. So, like I said, we don't have enough mana in the right places. We just end up not doing so hot. So there we go. Killing off that ogre kind of preemptively since there's no minecart to do anything to him. Come back up here, gonna put that up there. Though, thinking on it, probably would have been better to have
How many was that?
let them come through for more mana. Thankfully, I don't believe there's any flyers this wave. Wave 9, however, is where we're going to have problems because we're going to have those large targets, and it's always very problematic. So we've already failed to replicate my high score. Like I said, on that particular one, got really lucky with our random number generator with the amount of coin and mana pots that we got. However, this week has been kind of very annoying as far as getting recordings done. I've been trying to get that perfect take, and there's only so many times I can go through a level and keep on hitting retry before it takes a toll on me, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to practice more. And then it's really annoying when you're doing the level for practice and you end up getting a better score than you do normally, and you don't have it on record. You have, and of course the guy freezes right there on the turn, avoiding the minecart that I blew a bunch of mana to try to get. He's effectively blocked off the exit. So he's going to go ahead and shoot him in the face with some ice. Let's go ahead and find a health pot. We have more than enough of those. Not enough mana pots again. If you only have like 2 or 3 mana potions for wave 9, you should just save yourself like 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes of your time, and just reset the level. Like if you get to wave 9 out of 9 and you do not have at least 5 mana pots, you're better off just saving yourself time and retrying it. Especially if you're going for untouchable, which pretty much is the only way to be able to get through this challenge without any with any kind of a bonus. Just because this week's weekly, you have to have traps, and our only trap that can kill anything is a void trap. So if not for that, we'd have to have the lightning ring, or in order to do anything. Just based on anything, we would not be able to get through. This is a lot easier on co-op. Mana-wise, just because you have 2 players, you have 2 full mana bars. Yeah, the mobs are more robust, but, most of them are getting pushed into the void anyway. Being able to get untouchable on this particular level is just, it's all about mana. And yeah, we have no mana. All of our mana potions have disappeared or have been used. And now it's time to try to kite things around. We have 2 elementals and an ogre coming over here. Let's go ahead and trigger that trap. Alright, come over here. Gonna trip that. Ogre, of course, didn't want to cooperate. Not very familiar with the mechanic of the exploding orcs, and apparently they have no unit collision, so shooting him at that ogre just phases through him and then explodes in the background. So yeah, 2 skulls, 137,000 points. I mostly wanted to show you guys what ends up happening if you don't have enough mana. Like I said, 4 out of 5 of my attempts end this way. And if you're lucky, that 1 out of 5, you'll be able to get through without getting hit before that. But it all comes down to the random number generator and getting enough mana. Hopefully you guys fare better than I did on this video. Until next time, I'm Womp Rat, signing out.